is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Fat and Nerd Run-Throughs, and today we are doing the top 5 worst games of 2012. Woo! 6 years ago, still talking about these shitty-ass games. Like, I was actually surprised whenever I was looking up games this long ago, how many I've actually played. And yeah, this is something new that I'm doing. We did the top 5 worst games of 2017, so now we're just going back year by year of whenever I started, because I don't think I did, oh yeah, I went as far back as I could make a list for. I think 2011 was where it capped off, where I couldn't make, I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm sure if I kept going, I could probably do 10 or whatever, but I want to do consecutive years. Maybe I started playing in 2012, I don't know. But, yeah, worst games. We don't have any honorable mentions, right? Okay, or dishonorable mentions, I guess. Yeah. So, let's get started. My number 5 is a game that is never talked about, funny enough. And it was one of the games that it sounded really cool. And I think it was actually on my thought I would like but didn't list. A shitty game called Winter Tales. Which, if you don't know, is about, it's a storytelling game, kind of like Once Upon a Time, which is a fun storytelling game. Winter Tales kind of tries to actually put a game around it where you play one of these, you know, like Grimm's Tales creatures, you know, Pinocchio or Snow White or something, and they all have a Tim Burton-esque feel to it. Everything's like really grim, which is really cool. Like, I actually really love the artwork for this game. And I guess it kind of works to, it's just like, you have these obscure cards that were drawn by like a 5 and a 7-year-old that's how you tell the story. It's how you interpret the card. Except the problem with that is that once that card's kind of been visually imprinted in your brain, like, this kind of looks like a gun. Oh, it does. You're never going to use it for anything else. You're like, this is the gun card now. And the way you told stories, because you moved around on the board as well, it wasn't just all in your head, that it was very hard to not meta game. Like, if I was telling a story and I was saying, okay, well, you know, Snow White escaped from an insane asylum because she's in like a straitjacket, and she runs into this warehouse because we're enemies, waiting to attack you because you're heading that way. It's very hard for the person, and I play this, it's a noose or whatever. It's very hard for the other person to not just be like, well, I saw you in there, so I'm not going in there. It's like, okay, what are we doing here? And the cards, while cool in theory, just didn't work. It was just like whoever played the most of them like won the battle. It was just lame. But that's why it's my number 5, because I mean it's obviously not my worst. Right. There's definitely a lot worse games out there.
I'll say that about my number 5 too. It's definitely not the worst, but it's a very highly rated game on BGG. Not like super high. It's Suburbia.
Oh, interesting. Man, everyone raves about that one. I haven't played it.
I like Castle's Mad King Ludwig better.
Oh, okay. Are they like compared?
They're the same guy that made them. And
Gotcha.
They're not the exact same.
Right.
But I mean, you can tell.
He kind of
Castles was influenced.
Okay.
But anyway, I just don't get it with this game. Like, I don't know if you've seen what it looks like on the table.
Isn't it like a top-down view of a
Well, kinda, but it's just like these little hexes that you slide in. You start off with
this I think I do know what you're talking about.
And you slide in these really generic, ugly-ass hexes into a deal, and you're just, I mean, when I play a city game,
you want to see the city?
I want it to be like it's going to be cool, you know, somewhat, even if it's whatever, it's going to be a cool little city. But this is like some, I don't know what the term is for the art that's used in it. Deco, maybe? Something, I don't know, but it's...
images.
I
have seen that. Yeah, they're just colorized.
It's so, like, just bland.
Yeah.
Blah. And then I was like, okay, so the gameplay is going to be good to overcome that. And the gameplay, to me, just was so boring.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like, curb appeal or whatever, like, table appeal isn't everything.
Right.
but it's definitely like it's something.
Yeah, and well, and just not like I tried to overcome, but the game itself is just boring.
Yeah, it looks like I'm looking at an office building. You get +1 for each adjacent blue.
Right. I mean, ooh. So, I will take, like I played Quadropolis.
Okay.
Not very long ago. Awesome city building game, and Dice City, great city building game. I mean, as soon as I played those games, I got rid of Suburbia.
Gotcha.
Because my wife likes Suburbia, because she likes those kind of abstract, because it's almost kind of abstract in a way, you know? But I was just like, nope.
Nope. Sorry.
You know, and
I'll leave you.
It's a very popular game. It's, you know, it's...
Yeah, I haven't played Castles, but Castles kind of looks pretty dull, too.
But you're actually
you build
like
your castle, and
that's the thing.
I understand that, but like it's just kind of gray, and it's just like, all right, yeah, I have this, but those games would definitely like. I'm sure if Suburbia actually looked like you built that city or whatever, or castles looked like all these extravagant, like throne room looked like in a big, amazing throne room. So put some color into your game, man. Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
But even if you play the app for Suburbia, because they have the app,
it's boring too.
The app is shit, it's ugly. It's just like the board game. Yeah.
So okay, I haven't played it. So my number 4 is kind of it's not really a cheat, but it's definitely dated because it's Zombicide, which is the first Zombicide. I haven't played Black Plague, but I understand that it's already better than regular Zombicide.
So
it's actually on my list to play actually relatively quickly.
Did you see the announcement yesterday?
No. What's the announcement?
The next Kickstarter? Zombicide in space.
Oh my god.
It just got announced. Simon put out a teaser for it yesterday.
Well, I guess we're scraping the bottom of the barrel now. They ran out of zombie games, so it's in space. That's like, you know what would be really cool? I'm pretty sure the same guy who came up with that idea is the same guy who came up with the Jason Voorhees in space. Jason X, he's like, oh, it worked! It didn't work. No. They're like, Clank in space? Okay. How about we do... Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. The fantasy one was cool. That makes sense. Anyway, whatever. Regular Zombicide was kind of... It was also just one of those, not really dudes on a map, but... There was really no meat to it.
Yeah,
it really was just,
based,
it was just, okay, here's a scenario, kind of like how the others was, where I'm almost at this point wishing that the game is just a game, or it's a campaign, but like the scenarios, like they run relatively the same, so it doesn't merit to have a shit ton of stuff for roughly the same thing you're going to have. So Zombicide was kind of like that. Now, I'm not saying that about the others. The others is great. But Zombicide was just, okay, I guess I'll kill these zombies and more zombies show up. I don't know, maybe just the zombie thing doesn't work for me either. But ultimately, the reason why I made this list was the rule that everyone's heard of by now is that if you shoot into an area where, and you have a fix for this, but that doesn't merit it not being on this list, if you have an ally in that spot, so if I'm in this hex and they're in that hex and I shoot into that, you have to hit your friend. Like there's no, what you do, roll a d20, if you get a 1 you hit them, or no chance of, friendly fire happens. That should have already been incorporated into the game. It was just, nope, you hit them and then you hit the zombie. It's like, what? Yeah. Am I just this incapable moron that just has a gun and I'm just like, alright, 1 zombie. Nope! Should have went on that date with me, Brenda, and you gun her down. Fucking retarded.
I will say, the thing about this, because when did you play the Zombicide for the first time?
The regular Zombicide? A couple years ago.
Okay. When it came out, because I did the Kickstarter, I did all the Kickstarters, I didn't do Black Plague, I stopped before Black Plague.
That's a shame.
Right. And I sold it all because I think what was cool about Zombicide when it first came out, and the reason it was so popular, is because at that point in 2012, there wasn't those kind of games.
Right.
And I think it's like, oh God, you can have like 50 zombies on the board all at once, and you have, all these abilities and also, and I think it was new.
Yeah.
And and then the next ones came out and it got more convoluted. And then the next one got more convoluted.
Then zombies were kind of fading out.
Well, and then more games came out that did that better.
Right.
And like you said, the thing you don't like, I mean, Black Plague came out and it fixed all the issues from the other stuff.
But still kept the same kind of general concept.
Why did they just do that?
Right. I don't understand. I don't know whose idea it was. Maybe like they missed a rule. They're like, okay, hey, you're gonna put it in the rule book that there's a chance. It's like, oh yeah, I got it, and he forgot.
Right.
And then it's like,
I love zombie games, and I was all in on that. But yeah, I mean, I
don't know. I think zombies for me are like the same kind of thing as like post-apocalyptic. I like them in theory. I like the theme kind of loosely, but like once I boil it down, like zombies in and of themselves are boring. It's the human psyche and the morality of like what Dead of Winter does so well. Where zombies, they're still a problem. Or Walking Dead, like the show, it's like zombies, they can be a problem and people will die from zombies because carelessness and stuff like that. But when shit hits the fan, people suck. People are inherently evil, and they will like do anything just to survive, which is what Dead of Winter does really well. And then you have just a bunch of other zombie games that it's like, why would I play this? But yeah, so for 2012, that was my 4. Once again, because I mean it's still number 4 that I chose. I didn't even write down how many I actually had. I know I had more than 5, but
I had quite a few for each one.
But I don't want to just sit here and shit on 10 games.
Right, exactly. Mine has been on some of my lists. I can't remember which ones, but my number 4 is the DC Comics deck building game.
Oh, you didn't go. Oh, that's the weird one, right?
Right. Now, I own it still.
Okay.
And it is such a bad game, but I have it and I still play it.
Okay.
Because it's so easy. And I mean, a game will you just toss it out there. There's no really not much sorting. You just toss it out there and you just go.
Okay.
So if you're in the mood for a deck builder, you don't have much time. It does work for that.
Okay.
But it's just shitty.
I don't understand why they didn't do that. Is it the same company that did Marvel?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, Cryptozoic did did the DC deck builder and stuff like that, and then Upper Deck.
Okay.
Started with Marvel, so no. But anyway, so DC deck builder, the thing that's stupid about it is just like any deck builder, there's going to be a lane that you can buy or defeat stuff that's out there, and anything you buy or defeat goes into your deck. So if you beat the Joker, or if you beat Two-Face, or anything like that, they go into your deck, and then you are playing them because they have abilities on them. And like I said, if you're just wanting a deck builder game and just to have a game to play and just go through it real quick and stuff, it's a fun type like that. But if you really sit down, it's just stupid.
That just doesn't even sound fun, because I don't think deck building by itself is, me personally, obviously everyone knows, that's not fun. Right. Ooh, I got this in my deck now.
Well, okay. And the same engine is done because they came out, Cryptozoic has a whole series of deck builder games with IPs on them that are all pretty much the same game.
Yeah.
Like they came out with the 3 Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh yeah.
Too, and they run a lot of the same way. You defeating bad guys.
Oh, I got Saruman. Now he's good again.
Right. I mean, so. But I think they just were looking just to use a mechanic, just to throw a theme on it and just go.
Yeah, because
and
they
people
will buy it.
They threw the same different IPs on the same game and just went through. They have Naruto. They have Yu-Gi-Oh.
I might play. Oh, no way. Do they really have Yu-Gi-Oh?
I think so. They have. I want to say they have an NHL one, also.
Dear
like
God.
Hockey. I think.
How do you even do that?
Street Fighter. They have.
I might play that. I'd like to play the Naruto one just.
Right. I mean, they have so much stuff, and they probably have 3 or 4 core boxes in DC Universe for it, and all these little expansions. Like I said, it's not the mechanically, like if you're just not thinking about it, you're just playing it like Dominion, because Dominion has 0 theme and everything. Then you're just playing to win. That's fine, but it doesn't make any sense. You might as well just not. Anything. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. It's like, whenever I made this list, I wasn't thinking of like, in the mindset of 2012, I was thinking of like in today's. Really how I made my list was, whenever I played it, did I like it? No. So it made the list. It's like what you said about Zombicide. It was good in 2012. Yeah, okay, but it doesn't hold up to the test of time, just like anything. Neverending Story was great in 85. Well, it's shit now. So
right, and that's why Zombicide. I mean, spoiler, is not on my list.
Oh, okay.
Because I liked it when it came out.
Yeah.
But I didn't qualify that as
All right, so my number 3 is another game that you do like called Seasons. Now, Seasons, is it going to be on your list? I don't think so. Now, Seasons is another thing that, for me personally, is just, there's very few deck builders that I like, and very, very few deck constructing games that I like. That I pretty much deck constructing almost has to go.
This is not deck builder at all.
No, well, you don't. Do you not draft for cards?
You draft, but then you just sort them into 3 piles. You're not building a deck. You don't buy
Gotcha.
stuff. That goes into, you don't
no, that's fair. Yeah, so it's deck constructing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's very few deck constructing games that I like. Arkham Horror being pretty much the only one. There's probably at least another one out there, but like, so Seasons is a game where you have 4 seasons, a bunch of dice assigned to each season. And you take them, you roll them, and that's going to give you actions and stuff from you like kind of draft the dice between players. And 1 dice is left over that has pips on it, and that's how fast the year goes. So you can initially try and leave a high one out there to jump into another season to get benefits from your cards. First of all, I didn't like that because I felt like the game just went on too quick. Could have been a fault of the players. Because like, grab those ones so it doesn't go as quick. Even then, I still felt, I tried doing that, and I still felt it's like, okay, I got summer. I have these summer cards. Oh, it's not summer anymore. Okay, well, never mind.
I will say that the expansions have some time-altering cards as well.
Do they?
Just like in the base game that had boots I was talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you can move it forward or
so,
backwards more time.
Right, I don't think I had that card.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's ways to mitigate it a little bit. But that wasn't my really big complaint. I don't like deck constructing. First, it's a chore for me, and I especially don't like doing it three different times because it's like, okay, I got these cards. All right, let's do these cards. Oh, it's okay. Time for the second. Okay. Oh, good. I didn't set up for this. All right. Well, I'm pretty much done here. And I don't know. It was just boring. Nothing about it worked for me. I did only play this 2 players. But, I mean, I think Rado did a run-through for it, and he liked it as 2. I mean, he probably knows about 2-player games more than I do.
I've never played it 2, but I wouldn't expect it to be as good because part of a lot of those cards, like, you get a lot more out of the card for players, you know, and stuff, and it's...
It has also been a while since I have played it, but I just know that we played it a couple times and, you know, tried different cards, and it was just like, all right, and it didn't work. I didn't really like anything about the game. So
that's one of my wife's favorite of all time.
You know, it's so funny because occasionally, because I have a shelf of shame, which is the games I haven't played, and at the time that was on there, and it's like, hey, babe, I'm coming home, run upstairs and pick a game on there that looks interesting. She picked Seasons. Every game that she's picked off that shelf we haven't liked. Like she just picked Histrio the other day and we didn't like it. I was like, dang it. So that's my number 3, Seasons.
My number 3 is a very simple gateway game that...
You think we'll have any crossover? I don't think so.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
This would be the only... Well, maybe one. I don't know. It's Mecha Koro.
Oh.
It is a very simplistic game. Now,
yeah.
I bought it. I had the first 2 weeks because when I got the core game, it's just simple. It's almost kind of like has the... Oh, there's another game. Can't think of it, but there's a die, or more than one die, and you roll them, and then anybody that has a card that has that number on it gets the
well, no, there's 2. If you roll it, you get your blue and green cards, and then there's the red and purple. I think that you only score.
Yeah. It just depends on what. Some of them are. Some of them are when other people roll. Some of them are
if you roll it. Yeah, it was something like that.
But still, it's just.
I got money.
Well, we played it quite a bit because it was a simplistic game. That was one of the ones I used with the girls to try to get them into that stuff, but it ended the same way every time. Yep. Like it was just once you got enough money, buy that big thing.
Yep.
And then it was just like, and then that just compiled it. Just like it's the faster you bought, the faster the game went, and then it was over.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to buy this expansion and see if this helps. No.
Yeah.
And then I buy this other expansion. I was like, no. I was like,
still not
this
working.
game. You know? Well, and what really killed it, because I still had it in my collection until not too long ago, but then a game called Dice City came out, and so much better.
Is it?
So much better. And it's, yeah.
Mecha Koro, I didn't know that came, well, no, I still think it's better than the 5 I have on here. Because it is, that's just simple. You just have a row of cards, and you're like, all right, 1 die. Okay, I get 10 coins. Okay, that's all. I guess I'll buy that card.
Right.
But even then, I was just like,
it's too simple.
It really is.
Like even, I mean, it was too simple for my daughters.
Right.
That was getting into it. It was just
just like
the art looked really cool. And, you know, like you see it played, and there was people talking it up pretty good when it was coming out, and the art looked really neat. The little shops and stuff you could buy and everything. But it was just like, really?
Yeah, that was it.
You know?
That was it. No, that's fair. That's a good choice. All right, my number 2, which may be our only crossover because I know my number 1 is not going to be on your list. My number 2 is.
I can only guess what your number 1 is.
My number 2 is Descent, Journey in the Dark.
Oh.
Technically, my very first gamer game. Technically, I do not count it because it's awful. But it was the first game I bought. And here's the thing.
Direct hate mail, too.
Here's the thing about Descent, Journey in the Dark. Whenever you play a game for the first time and you already can tell it's overbalanced, or it's unbalanced, it's unbalanced, that's a problem. Because the way this game, it has all the things that should work for it, and I just don't understand. It just fell flat every single time. Whenever I first bought it, hated it, got rid of it. Years later, after I got more and more into the hobby and understood more, I was like, okay, I'll get it again. And I got it again, same exact feeling.
Have you tried it with the app?
No, but I mean, the app I understand would probably fix the balance because they fixed it in Imperial Assault. So the unbalancedness of this game is that you have the heroes who will take all their turns, and then the Overlord takes his turn. Overlord is like 1 versus many. So the Overlord controls all the minions, knows how to win. The people know how to win too, but they have like a different objective to win the scenario. And so the Overlord goes, and not only can he control all the creatures, but he has these Overlord cards that are like super fucking OP. So it's just like, okay, I'm going to move them and attack. Oh, I'm going to play this card that allows them to double attack. Oh, here's all my dice. Oh, you only have like a blue defense die. Okay, I did 20 damage to you. You're dead now. And it goes like that. It's like, what balances it, which Imperial Assault did, was one hero went. Then the Overlord went with one of his people. Then you just went back and forth, so you had some reaction time. It's not all of you go, and then
Then you just, the bad guy just obliterates.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous. And here's the other thing, which once again in theory sounds cool. Each scenario has 2 parts. So the first part is kind of like the setup to the second part. But how it works is whoever does better in the first part gets a bonus in the second part. And since it's unbalanced, the Overlord most likely is going to win, and then now he's super strong. So if you lose in the first part, you're going to lose in the second part. It's like nigh impossible to do well. Like I remember one, you had to like defeat people and get up to the castle. You had to like save villagers and get up to the castle to defend this old guy who can't even move or do anything. He's just there. But if the Overlord wins the first one, then he's pretty much surrounded, and the heroes lose if the old guy dies, which is gonna happen. It's absolutely ridiculous. I tried doing this as a series because I was like, maybe I'll like it with 4 people, like 3 heroes and then me. No, it didn't work. It was completely. I hate this game.
They had an issue. I think they had an issue with those kind of games at Fantasy Flight because the first Mansion of Madness was like that too.
What? Oh, it was kind of like that.
Versus many,
yeah,
it was totally.
I wouldn't say it was as unbalanced.
It was, but it was still. I mean,
it was still pretty difficult.
I played the first edition a lot with this one guy, and he was always the
whatever they called him, keeper. That's what they call him.
Bastard would just wreck us. I mean, like, he would set the entire damn mansion on fire every single time we did it. I was just like, there's probably some guy in Fantasy Flight that's in charge of that. It's like, damn it, Jerry, we're going to start making apps now. You're out of a job.
Yeah, you're fired. We don't need you anymore. All our games don't work. That's true. Like, thinking back, yeah, because, like, there was a timer, like, for cards, and those would trigger. And also, like, in mansions, yeah, the monsters would deal damage, and if they were insane, then the person would just, the keeper would just play these.
Yeah.
Be like, broken leg now. Oh, also, you're insane, and you kill yourself, so you're dead. That's true. They just really had a balancing problem. I don't know. I do not get the rave of Descent. I'm sure the app is fantastic. I will not give this game a third chance.
I think so many things have come out though that have kind of pushed Descent back.
Yeah.
You know, with just so many of those dungeon crawl miniature games.
Right.
You know, and it's not.
They have to do something more. Yeah, dungeon crawls are, I think, almost a dying. You know, mechanic, because it's like you do the same thing, Masmora. It's like, what's new about this? At this point in time, games you make have something new and innovative. Like Sword and Sorcery had a really good AI system. Fucking boring and generic campaign. That was just kind of like, okay, I am Grunt, done.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, just like, because I know you don't like Sword and Sorcery.
Right.
But that, you know, that's out. That pushed a lot of the Descent people. Massive Darkness has come out.
Yeah.
Gloomhaven's come out. There's all these games.
So that's the thing, yeah. Like Gloomhaven is a dungeon crawl, like at its core. Right. But it's like the best D&D board game. Just there's so much new stuff, and just everything works and flows together. Massive Darkness, for example. I've only done the one scenario, so I'm still kind of like, because it is ultimately just a dungeon crawl. But they still do the darkness and the main monsters and stuff. So that stuff is new. But it's like, I don't know, Descent, like Fantasy Flight.
I agree.
Descent bad. All right, what's your number 2? Yeah, 2.
My number 2, you still own this game, I believe. I never played it. Is City of Horror.
I have played it.
Oh, you did play
it? Yeah, what? You put on your number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually played it the other day.
It is...
Finally got off my shelf. That was on my shelf for like 3 years.
It's so for social purposes, it was good for like the first time we played it.
Interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just not.
You know, I mean, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit.
There's a reason it's on clearance everywhere and not being reprinted. I mean, it's
because what was the other one?
Mall of
Horror. Okay,
which is the first one.
Yeah,
I never played that one, but
right.
But pretty much this one is the classic deal where everybody's trapped in a deal and you have to pick which person you're going to throw out to the zombie horde so the rest of you can escape.
Punch the pregnant lady.
You know, and which is fun, but it also pisses off people.
Yeah, it's a very cutthroat game.
And
that was on your Mean Games.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. I don't know, and I don't know if it's maybe those games don't appeal to me a whole lot. You know, as much.
Yeah, we played it. Yeah, actually, not too long ago for the first time, and I actually really liked it. Like I thought that negotiation worked. Like using abilities, really good abilities of your people but if you use them, then they're worth less points. To give you an edge, that kind of negotiation of like, okay, look, if you just keep me in here, we can share the loot, or no, you know, just keep it all, just let me have my person. I thought it worked really well, and yeah, it's extremely mean if you want to get really into the role playing. It's like, okay, old lady, like you're in my fucking way, like you can die. And the game's super short too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would disagree, but I can see why people wouldn't like it, because 1, it is mean, 2, it is generic zombie, 3, there's not really a whole, like, it is a game, but yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It was just something that like I said, it made my mean list, because it is definitely mean, but it just, you know, it wasn't what I was expecting it to be, I guess, when I got into it.
Alrighty. Can you guess what my number 1 is?
Well, it's probably something that was on my top, though.
So
it's going to be, well, you already said Seasons. That's probably the only other one you hate. It's what, Kemet?
It's Kemet. Kemet's the worst game of 2012. Like, I kind of talked about it in our top 10 of 2012 when you put it on that list like a moron. Look, Komet, you're talking about simplicity of like Mecha Koro. Komet's as bog standard as it comes for just, all right, so what's this game about? We just fight each other. Oh, do we do any? No. No. What about, no. We're just going to teleport around the map. It's like, why even have a board? Why not just have, okay, we just do this. And we just fight each other the entire time. The only thing that even kind of redeems that is the text for the different levels of your pyramid. Except, my problem with that is that anyone who's even remotely experienced, even who's played it once more than everyone else, has an edge. Because they're going to be like, oh, that's a good combination. No one else is going to know. And I understand that that's like a first-time thing. Because then if you play it again, which I don't know why you would, but...
That can be said about all those games, though, if you have an experienced player. Because in Inish, you're going to be able to, get control over your areas.
Well, certain areas, but that doesn't guarantee victory. Like, because there's 3 different paths to victory that everyone has an option to. Cyclades... even still doesn't have that problem because your powers come from a deck of cards, the mythical creatures that can be bought, and then so there's always options for that, and then there's the auction, which everyone knows how I feel about that auction part. But yes, Komet was just one of those things that, like, they even found a way to make the combat boring, where it's just like, I'm gonna teleport here with my people. Okay, we're gonna take a card, place it face down, and then reveal. I got more blood drops than you. All right, I win. Like, that's what that game felt to me. And even then, you have the sleight of hand where you can have a smaller card and you can kind of be like, oh, what am I getting? But everyone knows. You're like, and you feel it. You're like, oh, look at that. And everyone's like, cool. All right, what is it? Oh, you got an extra damage. All right, so you killed all my people. Here's your victory point. I don't know, man. It's just, I do not like it at all. Like, I even gave Descent a second chance, and I don't think I'd give Komet a second chance. Oh, I technically did, but to have 4 people and it fell flat with them.
I'm interested to, because I haven't really played with the expansion a whole lot, other than just bringing in the black pyramid and the black tiles. But it's a modular thing. It has this whole other board.
Oh, it does it?
On and stuff and. Everything, I'm not really sure exactly what it does, but I know.
I don't know. That game and that theme is so cool too. Like that's another thing. It's like I love the themes of Matago. It's just like their execution. There's something with Cyclades. It was the auction and the turn order thing where it was just like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then there's really nothing I can do to retaliate. So you just win like that. It's that's why Inish is so great. It's like I don't just like once I hit the 2 out of the 3 or all 3. I don't just win.
Right.
It's like, oh, everyone else gets to react, and I have to strategize and do something well enough to hold them off. Like, position myself to where they can't stop me. Right. But Cyclades is like, okay, I have a Metropolis, and I have my, and then you have one. Oh, you're gonna move up and kill me, and then take it, and you just immediately win. That bugs me. The auction is, oh man, so many people like disagreed with me on that. They're like, but, I mean, that's fine, that's fair.
Yeah.
And then Komet was it's just like the combat was boring. It was just boring for me. Like, do something else other than just teleport. And be like, all right, I don't know. It didn't work for me. That theme could have been so cool if there was other elements of that game than just, I don't even remember how you leveled up, but like turn your pyramid up. Okay, now I can get these.
Prayer points too.
Oh, that's right. You had prayer points.
Yeah.
So you spend those, and you're like, okay, now I have a level 4 red thing. I can get all of these. Okay, I guess I'll get obviously the one that lets me get a miniature. Obviously, I'm gonna get this one that increases my strength or something. And that was it. I don't know. Maybe it was too. I don't know, man. It was the worst game for me. In 2000.
You're not gonna like my number 1.
Is your number 1 War of the Ring?
Yeah.
Is it really? Oh, I'm like, what? You said you've never played it?
No. I just changed it to War of the Ring. No, my number 1 was a game I was anticipating a ton when it got announced. It's a Plaid Hat game.
Is it Mice and Mystics?
No.
Oh, okay.
It sounded so cool. It was in the universe of Summoner Wars. So I knew a lot of the races and stuff that were going on in it and stuff. It's called Dungeon Run. And
Dungeon Run. Is that the one where you it's co-op until someone gets to the middle?
Until you get the summoning stone.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a dungeon crawl, I guess, something like that. But so you pick your hero. Everybody starts at the entrance, and then they move, and you drop another tile, and then bad guys will pop up or whatever. And you keep going until the tile that has the boss tile pops up, and then that's where you know where the boss is.
Okay.
You don't know who the monster is, though, because the monster card's face down.
Oh, okay.
And that's who has the summoning stone. So you guys have to work together to get there, work together to kill the bad guy, because the bad guy is powerful as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But then as soon as he dies, one person picks up the summoning stone, and then it becomes one versus all. And if whoever can get out of the dungeon with the summoning stone wins, or if they're the last man standing.
Right.
You know?
It's like, everyone's dead.
Right.
I win.
And it was talked about so much back then. This was one of the ones I didn't play test this game for that company. It was one of them in between. I was so jazzed for it and thought it was cool and everything, and then it just fell flat. It's
wow.
It was easy to. They didn't have rules written in to stop somebody from just, because there were certain tiles that you could just go to and then just leave and come back, leave and come back, leave and come back to power up. Mm-hmm. And so if one person just went off on their own while the other ones went, then they could just sit there and just keep going back and power up, and then they'd go and wait down by the entrance and then just wait for everything to come down and you could kill. And that was one that a guy did when I was playing.
Wow.
We're like, what the hell are you doing? And he came back and he was a badass and he just beat the hell out of the guy as he was leaving the dungeon, and then just picked up the stone and walked out.
It's the last one alive, and he's just gatekeeper.
Right. So it's there's been talks the last 3 years, at least 3 years, they're coming out with Dungeon Run 2.
Okay.
No, there's been no word about it ever since Asmodee and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if it's even something that's still
right
a possibility. But when they were talking about it, because the Plat podcast was one I listened to a lot, and they would talk about it every now and again, and it was something that Mr. Bistro is the guy. He's the guy the creator of it, designer.
I was I don't know.
And he had created it. This was creating the second one to fix all that stuff and then make it an actual
game.
Right, and then it's just
died off.
The word, and it's out of print now because it has never been made again.
Right.
People will still try selling it for $200, and
that's
if you buy it for $200, you're a complete moron. So don't do that.
So what made you not like it? Because in my mind, it makes me think of kind of like Cutthroat Caverns, where you have to work together but screw each other over at the same time.
Well, no, that part is fine. It's the bad tiles.
Oh, gotcha.
Where one can go and just power up by just going in and out and not even do anything with the game.
Yeah.
And then just be down there and be like, bring it.
Yep, things like that bug me too. When people, they're playing the game,
right.
but they're not playing the game like it was meant to be played.
There's certain tiles in that game that you can just manipulate and just uber buff up. You're sitting over there, just pumping weights while the other ones are going up.
No one else is dying and slaughtering each other.
And then you come down there and it's like...
It's dude, you were anorexic when we came in. What did you do?
So, it was just stupid stuff like that.
Gotcha.
It was the tiles weren't balanced right. And if they would have been balanced right, it would have been a fun game, because I liked that whole aspect of the game's flipping all of a sudden.
Right, kind of like Betrayal, we're all co-op, and then all of a sudden
exactly.
it's not. Yeah, I like that too. All right, so that are our worst games of 2015. Tell us what your worst games were of that year in the comments below. But other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you want to support us, you can go ahead and click that link to go to my Patreon account. If you have any suggestions, you can go ahead and click the link in the show notes below to go to my Board Game Geek list. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.